Welcome, golf fans. This is your golf guru, and I just wanted to quickly, as I've been doing deeper and deeper research, it's the clock is ticking. We're getting down to less than about 12 hours before this U.S. Open kicks off. I wanted to quickly give you my diamonds in the rough as I've been diving in. I think these are the guys that are going to be able to unlock some really good lineups, and I wanted to share them with you. As I mentioned in my previous show that I just released yesterday, that we are looking for some golfers with a very set of particular skills, and I've identified some guys that are not on people's radar and wanted to share them with you. So here we go. Number one, Louis Oosthuizen. This guy just performs. He's kind of always a hidden gem. He always performs in the big tournaments, but I want to just share some quick background on why I think Louis is the guy. His ownership's at 14%, so the smart money, the smart guys, already have recognized this, but this is a little more position for folks that might be a little new to betting on fantasy golf. But his number one putting surface is POA. If you look at his last few events, so at the BMW, he had a 25th, I saw the 70 players, but gained in every category, and around the green was neutral. He had a 13th at the Northern Trust, a 33 at the PGA, the Memorial, which was crazy tough conditions. He ended up a 54th, but again, under tough conditions. And then if we look at his U.S. Open, he had a 7th last year, 2019, a 16th in 2018, a 23rd in 2017, and his best finish, he actually was runner-up in 2015. So if Louis wasn't on your radar, definitely get him on your radar and get him in some of your lineups. He's going to help unlock some of the top guys. The next guy that I think is definitely been overlooked is Joel Dahmen. And some say Dahmen. I'm going with Dahmen. Now, from a putting perspective, he's not the best putter, but his best surface is POA, but it's still a negative surface, just barely. But if you look at what Joel Dahmen's been doing here over the past, and again, when I ran my model, I was very constringent, looked at a lot of things. And if you look at my previous show, you're going to see, but it was looking at things on, fairways gained, good drives, really about hitting the fairways. Then, of course, it was sand saves, three-putt avoidance, all those areas I really did. And I looked at the courses that will represent Winged Foot or comp courses. So I just wanted you to understand where this information is also being leveraged against. But if you look at just some past, what was struck out with me with Joel Dahmen, he had a 20th at the BMW. Again, this is at Olympia Fields out of 70 players. That's super strong. He ended up 10th at the PGA, which was played at TPC Harding Park. He had a 74th at Memorial, so he struggled a little bit there. But again, that was under super tough conditions. And if we look at past, he actually missed a cut in his one appearance. But again, he's at 5% ownership, 6,600. I think he's a super sleeper. And again, I think is somebody you need to look at to help unlock the potential. All right, Sebastian Munoz. I like Sebastian. He's had great recent form coming into this. 6% owned, 6,600 on DraftKings. From a putting perspective, POA is just neutral. But if you look at what he's been doing, I think you can't look away from this. So at the Tour Championship, he had an 8th at the BMW, again, at the Olympia Fields, very tough conditions, the closest thing we've probably seen to what they're going to be going against here starting tomorrow. He had an 8th place at the BMW, an 18th at the Northern Trust. He did miss a cut at the PGA, but at Memorial, again, at Jack's Place, he had a 48th finish and actually gained strokes everywhere and just had the putter was what hurt him. So again, I think Sebastian Munoz needs to be on your radar. And his only one appearance, at least he has an appearance at the U.S. Open. He did miss the cut. But again, I like him for recent form and for what is going to be coming up. And also, I don't know if I mentioned, back to Joel Dahmen. If you look at his average strokes gained by rounds of difficulty, he gains his most strokes in the most difficult conditions. And Louis is the same thing. So that was also the things that popped up, was that if you look at average strokes gained by round difficulty, when it's most difficult, that's where Louis also strives. Okay, on to one more. That would be Mackenzie Hughes, Mac Hughes. Again, we are looking for some really good putters, and that also has the skill set. And so Mackenzie Hughes coming in at just a little over 5% owned, 6,900. His best putting surface is POA. And if you look at his recent form, a 14th at the Tour Championship, a 10th at the BMW, again at Olympia Fields, a 13th at the Northern Trust. He had a 58th at the PGA. The Memorial, which again, very difficult, he had a 6. So I think, I think a lot of people have been talking, but I mean, he has gained strokes on putting in like his last 15 events. And you're going to need a really good putter. The only area that he, can catch you is off the tee. Approach is so-so. I mean, he can be on or off the tee, but it's not crazy bad off the tee. Like I said, off the tee, lost stroking at 9th to the field. But again, we're just looking for accuracy. We're looking to get him play, get on the greens, and make his putts. So I'm liking Mac Hughes. And I'd say my super sleeper is going to be Danny Lee. I think he hasn't played in a couple tournaments, so he's kind of, he played at the BMW. But I haven't heard anything about this guy, and I think this course sits up well for him. Again, POA is by far his best putting surface. His last 5 tournaments, he's gained everywhere except just a little tiny bit lost off the tee from a shot game perspective. So again, this is just against the field. He typically is not long, but he is accurate, and that's what we're looking for. Recent form, he had a 33rd at the BMW, again, Olympia Fields, super crazy, hard out there. He had an 18th at the Northern Trust. At the PGA, he had a 71st, and at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which that also played tough, and I believe, right, it was pretty cold out. He had a 5th place finish, and his past experience at the U.S. Open in 2016 was his last time he appeared. He did make the cut. He had a 57th and then missed cut in 2016. So for the $6,200 price tag, so if you're looking, down, this is the one guy that I could find. These are the gyms down in the 6,000s, and then Louis just a little bit above. And then who I'm looking to fade, at the very top, I was actually looking at Justin Thomas and, thought, hey, this could be good. And then once I really started to dive into some more details, I decided I'm going to fade Justin. And it might come back to haunt me, but if I have to pick between DJ, Rahm, and Justin as your top 3, I'll put DJ and Rahm in there. POA is a stronger surface, so not by much, but is one of his stronger surfaces for putting for JT. But if you look over his last 20 rounds, he's been losing strokes putting. He had a 2nd place at the Tour Championship, but also lost again on the putter. But the BMW, if you look at where I was looking, was the tough tournaments he's played. So at Olympia Fields, he ended up 25th. Now, again, out of 70 players, that's okay if your cost is $7-8 grand. But when you're the top 3 cost factors in the tournament, I don't like the 25th. He had a 49th at the Northern Trust, which was a cakewalk. And I lost again. He lost 4 strokes putting. At the PGA, he had a 37th at TPC Harding Park. Now, he did win the St. Jude. But, if you look at the Memorial, which is St. Jude, again, you can't compare the courses. But then let's look at, again, like the Memorial, he ended up 18th. So all relative, what I'm saying is if you're looking at the top 3 guys and you got to make a choice, I would take DJ or Rahm for sure over, what JT's been doing. I'm a big fan of JT, but that is who I am going to fade. You can't take all 3 of them. It literally doesn't work. You can't even get a golfers in. I checked it out. And then these aren't shockers, but again, for maybe the newer people that are just looking to make some bets and want some quick information. Ricky Fowler, very popular right now. He's, again, the smart money, the guys that know what they're doing through Fantasy National. He's just less than 5% owned right now, but that is going to go up, I think, significantly. I'd say at least about almost double, just because, people know the name. I like Ricky. I made the mistake in the very beginning, years ago. I put Ricky in the lineup just because, from a name recognition, but he's just been struggling. And Poa, he's already been struggling with the putter mightily, but Poa is his worst surface. So this is just going to throw gas on the fire. And then we just look at some recent form with Ricky. I don't think I need to go into too many details, but he had a 49 to get to Northern Trust, which that course got lit up. He lost tee to green, off the tee, approach. He had a miscut at the PGA, a miscut at Memorial. Yeah, no bright spots. So if you had ideas of playing Ricky just for the name recognition, don't. If you want to have an optimal lineup, actually win some money. Tiger Woods, again, this again is for the layman, the new person, one of the best players ever, one of the best players out of the rough, but just even with his practice rounds, he's been spraying it off the tee. You can't do that here. Right now, again, the smart guys, they know he's less than 4% owned, but again, for the people that just for name recognition going to throw him in, don't. Poa is his worst putting surface. And if you look at the BMW, a good representation of what they're going to be facing that we've seen this year, he was 51st. So he barely made the cut. Well, actually, it was a no-cut event. So ended up 51st and, lost tee to green, off the tee, putting and lost almost 4 strokes, which is unusual. At the Northern Trust, which everybody smoked, he had a 58th. At the PGA Championship, he had a 37th. And then look at Memorial, again, another reference tournament this year. He ended up 40th. So for the smart guys, I don't think, they were going to be on Tiger Woods. But if you are someone new to it, get away from Tiger. And then last, Phil Mickelson. It'd be a great story. Phil's, the chase for the U.S. Opens had 2 crazy finishes on the 18th that ended up with a runner-up in the past. But this isn't fantasy land. And again, the smart people, he's only 2.5% owned right now. I'm recording this at about 1:15 Eastern time on Wednesday, the day before we got liftoff. But, Phil, again, is the name. It's the U.S. Open. It's the wing foot where he had the debacle with Jeff Ogilvy on the 18th hole. But, even though Poa is, one of Phil's better putting surfaces and he still has a great short game, but he's all over the lot with the driver and he's just going to struggle. And if you just look at just some recent form, if you need any more, a 44th at the Safeway that we just had this, past weekend, which, that course is like a putt-putt course compared to what they're going to be playing. He missed the cut at the Northern Trust, so just bam, out of the FedEx playoffs. He had a 71st at the PGA. He had the win on the senior tour, that's what I'm going to call it, the Tour Champions. But again, he played there because that course fit him because guess what? You can hit it all over the lot and you can't get in trouble. No trees, no water, no rough. So spray it wherever you. His only even sign of life was the WGC St. Jude back in early August. But this isn't the WGC St. Jude. And then if you look at Memorial, again, a good referenceable recent tournament, he was a 54th. So that's it. I just wanted to get you my fades and then more lost my super sleeper picks because, after I've been diving through and all the analysis and everything I can and intangibles, those are the guys that came up with. So best of luck and I hope you win a ton. And that's it. Take care.